All right, so the next exercise we're going to go over is full depth squatting, okay? And this is, out of all the exercises, this is probably the most important, in my opinion, because it creates a lot of mobility in through the hips while maintaining stability in through your core or your pillar. Okay, so you're locking and loading the entire time. And a lot of people have problems with the hips because that sacrum area where the tailbone meets up, so if you can focus on there, just like here on me, it locks up with the pelvis, okay? And that creates a whole slew of problems. So we're gonna get into full depth squats, okay? We're gonna break it up into 3 different parts though, okay? So we're gonna first do a third of a squat, then a half of a squat, and then the full depth squat. So first thing is foot position, okay? So typically what I'll tell people, there's 2 ways. Either a little bit wider than shoulder width, feet pointed straight ahead, okay? All right, good. Or there's a second way, and this is from my good friend Nathan Baxter, who is an international powerlifting champion. He has people put his feet together, pointed straight ahead, okay? Good. We're gonna turn the feet out 45 degrees each way. So now you've created a 90-degree angle there, good. Come up onto the balls of the toes, square the feet up, good. Another 45 out, good, and then square up. Okay, so this is your squat stance.
I like that.
Okay, yep.
That's an easier way to kind of know you're in the right.
And then if you've gotten enough reps with this, you know exactly where your feet are supposed to be. Okay. So now here's the other key thing: is your points of contact into the ground are going to be the heel, okay, the ball of the first toe, and the ball of the fifth toe. So those 3 points are your points of contact that I want to maintain every single time. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to go through is the third of the squat, which the main key point here is bone rhythm. Okay. So this bone right here, okay, this is the femur bone. Okay. So you've got the hip joint here, and you've got the knee joint. And essentially what I want them to do, those 2 reference points, I want them to go opposite directions, same rate, same time. Okay. So basically when you start, so I'll demo really quick. Okay. When I start to bend my knees, I bend at the hips. Okay. Maintaining stability here. Okay. Most people, they like to just kind of sit back. Okay. Which that sends their center of gravity backwards. I want to maintain that center of gravity over my force generator, which is my quads. Okay.
So they need to work together.
Yes.
Essentially.
Perfect. You just did it. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So I want you to pull the navel into the spine though. Okay, so you don't arch too much back here. And I want you to hinge more at the hips. Okay. Good. Take some of that bend out of here. Come forward more, come forward, come forward, come forward, more. There you go. Good. Feels different, right?
It does, yeah.
Yes. So people that have back problems, you can come on up now. So when people have back problems, they actually put a lot of arch in through the back, and basically now they're basically crushing the elements in their spine, and they're relying on that for stability versus the musculature here. That's why lock and load is so key. Okay? Perfect. So let's try that again. So I'm going to cue you from your hips and your knee. Okay? So I'm going to push the hips back and the knee. I want you to maintain this. Okay? All right? Good. Perfect. Good. That's your third. Okay? Come on back up. Okay, great. So now we're going to move on to the half of a squat. So same thing, you're going to do that bone rhythm, okay? And then I'm going to put my hands on your knees from the outside. I want you to give me some outward resistance there. Okay, perfect. All right, so have you first start that first third of the squat here. Good, perfect, good. Okay, stop right there. My hands are here, push out, okay? Push out real hard, good. Start to drop. Perfect, and that's your half of a squat right there. Okay, good body position. Feel okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, keep pushing out. Come on back up. There you go. Good. Did you feel some other things engage when you were when I put my hands there?
The one thing I was going to say is I didn't feel any stress in my knees, which sometimes I do when I squat, and I felt really stable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm glad you said that.
I felt like I was using the right parts versus when I don't have the right form, I start to feel at my knees.
Yes, right. And I'm glad you said that because from the previous practice that we ran was pain management. All we did was take care of knees that were, falling apart, inject them with steroids, visco supplementation, you name it. But the problem is it comes down to movement.
Yeah.
Okay? Most problems at the knee don't come about because of knee problems.
Right.
It's a lack of mobility at the hip and at the ankle.
Right.
So that's why we first focus on the hip.
Yeah,
Okay?
that makes
So if
sense.
you have mobility here and here,
Yeah.
that is going to work.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and your loading point, your force generator is your quads.
Right.
Okay? So now we're actually going to go down to the full depth squat. Okay? So same thing, the first third, bone rhythm.
Okay.
Through that, through the next phase to that half squat, push out.
Right.
Then I'm going to have you push out even harder.
Okay.
And what you're going to see is, actually we'll repeat that. Okay, we'll go to the half because I want you, if you can, zoom in on the feet. Okay, we're going to put you straight there. If you can see, if you drive your knee in, do you see what happens there? Your foot drops in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we call that pes planus or flat foot. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically we're taking all the forefoot, which is basically like your wrist,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and driving that into the ground. So
Right.
you're jamming all those joints,
Right.
okay? Versus if you were to create an arch and bring that foot up, you actually start to utilize ligaments and muscles to create power. Okay, so you actually now have got a spring underneath your feet.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll start to see and feel some of those changes
Yeah.
as you push outwardly.
Right.
And one thing I forgot to mention is when you push out, your femur right here, it actually turns out. Okay, so we call
Okay.
that external rotation.
Yeah.
So the important factor for that is in the hip.
Yeah.
Now you've got all the ligaments, we call fascia, and then muscles that actually start to rotate in and create a lot of stability in
Yeah.
through that hip
Yeah.
socket.
I could feel the fire in my quads without
Right.
any weight. So.
Yep, exactly. Versus if you were to drop in and drop your knees inward,
Right.
that actually creates a lot of laxity in the hips, and then there's a lot of moving around
Okay.
inside that hip socket.
Right.
So, okay, great. All right, so we're gonna first start the first third. So
Okay.
again, bone rhythm there, perfect. Start to push out hard, drop to the half, good. Push real hard now, good. Push, 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 push. Keep going, good. Now when you get to the bottom, I want you to take a deep breath in through your belly, push your belly out, good. And drop your belly button. Think about pushing your belly button or your navel to the ground, and you see how your sacrum just drops there.
Mhm.
Okay. So now I'm gonna have you come up, push out real hard into my hands, push, 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 and straight on up.
Yeah.
Good. Yet the whole time you maintained stability here,
Right.
which was great. Okay, because that allowed your leg
Right.
to rotate where it needs to be.
It's funny because I would think if I'm pushing out, it would hurt my knees, but you're right. I can feel that spring that kind of
Right.
powers me
Yeah,
up.
exactly. So this is the basics of an air squat. And then when you hold a weight in front of you, that's more of a goblet squat. Okay, so not a whole lot of difference there. Now you've got a counterbalance in front of you. When you start getting into front squats and back squats, your mechanics change a little bit more. But this is more for rehabilitative purposes, so
Okay.
that's what we're going to focus on.
Great, that was
So,
very
but
helpful.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside my man, Dr. Stu, with his formula, Machine Motion, the Dr. Stu series. Dr. Stu, what's up with this, man?
So we designed this formulation. It's a joint formula, okay, to kind of support the book that we came out with for low back pain, right? And so we want to support the health of joints for people that are just ailing. And we put a short little, a compact little formulation together and put everything together that everybody has kind of separated into different products. So it's an all-in-one. There's a link in the description below. You can click on that, find out a little bit more information, and there it is.
Thing is, you're looking at scientifically validated dosing of key ingredients to help not only if you have lower back pain, but any kind of joint issues or if you want to prevent them. And that's not a game.